Hello, I'm ABX Toycat, and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be doing a review of the Halloween 2015 Mashup Pack. This is a Mashup Pack which released specially for Halloween of 2015, of course, and that honestly I went into with a pretty negative opinion. This is because they took the Halloween Texture Pack, a free piece of DLC, and kind of turned it into this piece of paid DLC, and to me that felt like they were trying to charge for something that used to be free, but honestly now having played it, I have kind of shifted my opinion a little bit, and I thought I'd do a full review to let you know all of my opinions on this Mashup Pack. So that's what I'll be doing in today's video. Please do like it if you do like it, because it helps out the channel a lot, and lets me know you do like it. I want to see more stuff like this, but let's get straight into it already, shall we? So let's quickly start by explaining what the Mashup Pack is. So the Mashup Pack is a combination of the Halloween Texture Pack with a few subtle changes. Those few subtle changes are mostly, added animated textures, but for the most part, it will look the same. A Halloween 2015 Mashup Pack world and a Halloween Texture Pack world are mostly the same. So I've done a full review of that already, so I'll kind of be avoiding the Texture Pack itself for today. But yeah, as well as being a cool, upgrade to the Texture Pack, it's an upgrade to the Halloween Skin Pack that they did a few years ago, which basically was for charity, but they have added a bunch more skins and included it in this, so I'll be going through those skins later. But the big part of this world, and honestly the only reason I think you should buy it, if this isn't a part of your reason, it probably won't be worth the money, is the themed world, because, you get theme music with the themed world, but I think they really go really well together, because this is the best Mashup Pack world they've done so far, and I think I've said that for most of the Mashup Packs so far, and that's because it's mostly been true. They're always trying to up the ante, but this, themed world is so great on so many levels, and if you want to go what I mean by that, basically this map is great for 4 separate things, and, maybe even a bunch more, but like 4 core things. First of all, it's a really fun adventure map. There is a quest for you to actually do. You've got to find all 12 music discs, and those 12 music discs make a really fun adventure to find, because they're all hidden in the various corners of the world. There is, just one in your house to start you off, but, once you go on from that, it gets harder and harder and harder and harder to actually find this stuff, and it's really, really fun to just go and find it. Like, I spent 3 hours live streaming my first attempt because it was just that fun. I was having an awesome time, and when we finally solved a bunch of those puzzles, it was awesome. But yeah, it's a puzzle slash adventure map. It's a fun multiplayer map to play with your friends, because you can just look through the map, try and explore, try and find stuff that's going on. You can see this is the village you spawn in. It's cool just to look around, see what's going on. There's a jailhouse. There's all these different houses, but there's also a fun park just next to the spawn where you can do some fun stuff. There's roller coasters. There's a TNT cannon that'll launch you up there. There's drop the villagers and the stuff. There's lots of really fun things that you can actually do in this place, but as well as those 2 things, there's a roller coaster, so you can enjoy the world in an amazing roller coaster. Like, this is one of the best roller coasters I've ever seen for Minecraft console, and it's part of the, a map you can just download as part of the DLC, and then it's also an amazing creative build map, and you might thought, wow, that's a lot of different things, but the fact that those things are integrated so well together is what makes this so great. I mean, you rarely see this in, like a map you'll download normally. Usually it'll be focused on one thing, but instead this is, this is really cool builds. There's a giant pumpkin here. There's this really cool village that you spawn in. There's this massive roller coaster to explore those things, and it's great with multiplayer, and there's an adventure that ties the whole thing together, and to me that's so insane, but that's actually what they've done here. And like I said, it was just the most fun ever, and even going in afterwards in creative and looking around for the stuff, it was still just so fun to explore the place, and that's why I think this is awesome. So, with that said, let's actually go on the roller coaster while I try and explain why that's so great, because, basically, I think this is, this is a themed world that if, again, I think if you can, if $3.99 isn't too much to drop, because it is reasonably steep in my opinion, like, that is a decent amount to have to pay. I think if that's, not too much to drop, if you're willing to drop that for a really fun time, this is the Mashup Pack for you, because when I guess you could always wait for the next one, but because they're always outdoing themselves with these, they're always trying to add more and more points of fun, and this one has so much to do. It has a roller coaster, which, even though it only takes 5 or 10 minutes, it's still really, really cool. You see so much. Like, look at these massive cactuses they built. And, that's why I think this is awesome. So, to kind of sum up my points on this, I think, the Halloween 2015 Mashup Pack, as far as, just a cool build map, it's pretty awesome. As far as fun map player friends, it's pretty awesome. But I think where the map gets really amazing, and this is just my personal preference as a map, is where all the puzzles and all the adventuring comes in. Because, having just a cool map to look around it's fun enough. I mean, for some people, that's the best thing ever. But, personally, what I much prefer, so I'll do a full lap of this first, and then I'll show you. Personally, what I much prefer, and by the way, it's an amazing roller coaster. You'll see. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things to see. But what I prefer is having something to do. Just telling me go look around the world. That's cool. That's not what Minecraft's all about. It's all about having yourself a goal to do. And I think the music discs are perfect for that, because you can, trying to find all 12 is such a challenge. the 3 hours I spent doing it was so cool, because even though I got a little bit frustrated sometimes, sometimes you gotta get frustrated with something to really enjoy it, as well as, that happening, there was also the moments where I finally worked out the puzzle, which led me to the next part of the puzzle, and believe me, like, they've gone from just having, like, oh, a redstone lever activates this, which, is one of them, but it's gone from that, and earlier texture packs and mashup packs, to being, just mashup packs worlds, I guess, but basically it's gone from that to being much more complex puzzles, and I figured I'd show you one of those as soon as we've done a full loop on this. So, yeah, this is just a brief ride of the roller coaster. You can obviously look around some more stuff, but there's just cool build after cool build that you go past, and that's pretty awesome. But yeah, so once we get off the next step, which I believe is up there, I want to show you the mansion, which during my live stream, because I did live stream for this the first time, if you ever want to check out my first experience and stuff, during my first live stream, I spent something like an hour trying to work out the puzzle from the music discs, and, to some people that sounds awful, like, oh, a whole hour just to do that, that's terrible. But to me, it was the most fun thing ever, because I was like, oh, it's like a puzzle game. It's like, a Legend of Zelda, it's like something like that, where you really, really need to work out the ways to the next room, and you can't entirely do it. And yeah, that's what this kind of was. So yeah, this is 2/3 of the roller coaster. It splits up into 3 segments, so you can get off if you want to. This is the second segment. This will lead me right back to the spawn if I want to do that, but that's not what I'm doing today. What I'm going to instead do today is I want to show you, one of my favorite parts of the map. So basically, there's a bunch of builds around here. You can see there's the Mushroom Islands that are kind of haunted. There's a big crypt. There's a big village. There's lots of different things. One of the things is this massive mansion, which is hidden in the woods. To even get here, you have to go through a little bit of a maze, and once you get here, as you can see, it's a giant mansion. And the giant mansion, it's cool enough to explore by itself. That's not my sort of thing, but if you like big builds, this is a really cool big build. There's a lot going on here. It's fun to explore, it's a mansion. Everybody loves looking around mansions, right? At least I'd like to believe so. But one of the parts of this mansion, so if I go out the back, actually, one of the cool things in this mansion is if we actually head out the back, which I believe this will take us there, you can see there's this thing over here, and you're like, oh, there's 2 glowstone lamps with some iron doors behind it. And in this, mashup pack, for the most part, iron door means there's a puzzle you need to solve to get there. So, as you can see, 2 lights, that means there's 2 sets of puzzles in this place you need to solve. I didn't actually realize this till I'd solved one of them, but basically, this means there's 2 massive puzzles you have to solve, and bear in mind, this is just before you can get to the next stage of the puzzle. So, one of the puzzles, I'll only spoil one of them, because I really want this to be a cool thing, you can do by yourself, is that basically what you have to do is you have to go around and, you have to go into the maze, and you can see this is where we need to be. So we need to open those iron doors. How do we do that? Oh, well, there's a lever in there. How do we open this iron door? And basically, I'll show you the solution to this just to show you how cool and crazy this is. You need to find a pressure plate hidden on top of the bookshelf. That activates this little hole in the wall, which means you can activate this lever. That will activate a hidden, what that does is that activates the access to a hidden place down here. So if I head down here, you'll actually be able to see that there is, just over here, there is a hidden little place over here, and you can see there's a fireplace. Behind the fireplace, we press the lever, so if I go out that, there we go. If we press the lever down, then what we need to do, we need to find a second fireplace. The second fireplace is behind this painting over here. And then behind the painting, you gotta press this lever down. So once you do both those levers, it's kind of tricky because the fireplace is a painting. Once you've gone behind both those things and you've got that done, you've best press both levers, and that opens up a third fireplace. This third fireplace then turns itself off, and behind the fireplace, you'll be able to climb up here, and I believe there is a lever up. Oh no, what this does is this allows you to go behind a painting into this room over here, which, you couldn't have access to before, and as you can see, you go through paintings, which is so cool. But yeah, you go behind the painting, and you're in this room over here, where you can activate that lever, open this door, and then boom, you're behind these doors. And that's not even where this half of the other puzzle ends, because then you have to find the next lever, do all of that. And like I said, it took me a full hour to solve this mansion on my live stream, but it was the coolest thing in the meantime, because you've got to open these doors to open the next doors, and you might think it's just tedious to do the same thing over and over again, but it really did feel like, it was this amazing, because every single leg of the puzzle is doing something different. This one, for instance, is looking around the room to try and find the lever. It's in a very sneaky place. You might be able to guess by where the ladder is, but yeah, it's in a very sneaky place, and then that's just one half the overall puzzle. The other one is so cool by itself because, I don't know what it entirely reminds me of, but you have to go through rooms and work out which order to press the levers in, so I'll just show you the puzzle, I won't show you how to solve it. Basically, you can see this corridor here has 3 rooms, red, blue, and green. You have to press these levers to open and shut the doors at specific times. They'll actually open up little holes in the walls to make puzzles, and it's really, really tricky just to open that doors and get the levers done. So, yeah, I think this was awesome just because, puzzles leading to puzzles, it sounds kind of dull to some people, but in a cool mansion like this, it was amazing. So, yeah, that's one part of this that I really liked. I love that there's puzzles everywhere. This is just one of them, like I mentioned. Then there's puzzles that are just mazes, so you have to work your way. For instance, there's a pyramid that you have to, just work your way through. It's just a labyrinth, basically. There's one where you have to go through the forest to find yourself at the giant tree. The giant tree also has a base in the nether, and then there's a music disc there. There's just so many amazingly cool in-depth places, and I think there's genuinely like 10 hours or so of content in this. If you want to do the whole thing without any hints in survival, this is going to take you 10 hours to do the adventure map, and when you do it, it's going to feel awesome. And that's what I like about, that's what I like about this, mashup pack. It adds content to Minecraft in a way that is entirely optional. You can keep playing your Minecraft world and not feel anything. In fact, it's not even just entirely optional. You can, if your friends are playing it, you can play with them. The trials are so generous. If your friends are playing in the world, you can play that just fine, and as long as they're the ones saving it, that's fine. You can even play the world by yourself, as long as you're fine with, not being able to save the game, and that's why I think this is awesome. I think this is a really generous, for the price, it's about, fairly priced. I think 10 hours of content, like I said, for £3.19 or $4, it's just about fair, but it's entirely optional in the way that I think it is pretty good, and that's why this is awesome. So, like I mentioned, there's a bunch of builds. I'll just show you around a few of them. There's a mega castle on a hill. There's a little thing over there. There's just giant pixel art everywhere for the roller coaster. There's massive walkways. There's the whole map is just filled with things to explore. Some of the things are music disc based. Some of them are just, oh, this is a cool thing there, and that's why I think this is cool. I think a whole mashup, a massive world full of content to enjoy. It's definitely worth checking out. If you can't afford, if you can't afford, or you don't have the money, or you don't have the access to get the money, I'd say still play the trial or find a friend that does and play it through together, because this is just an amazing amount of fun, and I think you're really missing out on this. And honestly, the key thing I want to take away from this is I'm excited what they're going to do in the future, because they always try to improve the mashup packs over the previous ones, and given that they have a full map full of just amazing content, I want to see what happens next. And maybe it means it takes longer for mashup packs, but that's a fair compromise to me. I love cool content, and compare this to the Mass Effect mashup pack, where it was just, oh, here's one of the builds from Mass Effect, to this, where it's all this content, all this fun, animated textures, brand new stuff for the game. They even changed the lighting system so they could get this map to work the way they wanted to. I think just all of that adds up to a pretty cool thing. But that's me personally. I'd like to hear what you think in the comments down below. Maybe I'm just out of touch. Maybe I think that something's awesome that it isn't, but that's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like the video if you did like it, share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them all daily on your homepage. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.